Hello, BigTube. Hello, friends. Welcome to Lizzie Faye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth, and today I'd like to talk about literary cookbooks. Now, what I'm talking about when I say literary cookbooks are cookbooks that are based on and or inspired by a book or a book series. And I have several of those, and I thought it would be a fun project at first just to show them to you and make that a video. And then I thought, oh, I should go ahead and prepare a recipe from each one and put that all together in a video and show you. And then I started thinking, oh, it would be fun to actually read and review and show a recipe from each book, which would get into quite a large video. So I think today I'm starting a new video series, and I'm going to leave it open-ended and show you my collection today, as well as a couple that I have checked out from the library. That way you'll sort of know what's coming. And then over the next weeks, months, years, however long I feel like doing this, I will continue to bring to you a review of a particular literary cookbook and make at least one or more recipes from each one, so that following this video, each of these books will have their own dedicated video. So I'll start with the ones I own and the ones that I have checked out right now from the library, and then I'll go from there. I did a search and saw that there are quite a few that I never even thought about. Like, well, there's a Little Women cookbook, and an Anne of Green Gables cookbook, and a Hunger Games cookbook. There's a couple of Harry Potter cookbooks, and so forth. Even one for Discworld. So let me show you the ones I have, and now you're probably already guessing that I have one or more cozy mystery cookbooks, and I do. In fact, I hauled one in my last book outlet haul, and I've got another one that I've owned for several years. So I want to show you those, and we'll just go from there. So the one that I have hauled most recently is the Cozy Cookbook. This has 11 different cozy mystery authors represented, and I want to say, I counted up the different books that there are recipes from, something like 40, over 40 different books that have recipes represented. And there are small excerpts from several of those books. And actually, no, I want to say it may be more like 80. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There's 15 different series represented and several books. Some have, a dozen or more books represented, and others just have 3. So it varies. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different authors. And the one thing I don't like about this book is that it is very much like a mass market paperback, even though it's a trade paperback size. There are no color photographs or anything. So it's inexpensively made, and as a result, it was not a very expensive book. So that is a positive thing. And because of the spine just being more of a mass market paperback spine, it would be hard to leave this open on your kitchen counter to cook from it. Much like your average cozy mystery in a paperback, it's going to be very similar. So, not a big deal. Those are just the things I would think that would be more of a negative aspect, at least as far as I'm concerned. But I did flip through this last night. I have not read it, obviously from cover to cover, but I was excited to see that there are excerpts from various movies. We're talking books here. There are excerpts from various books, and about 20 of the books that are mentioned are books I've read. So that alone is awesome, and I'm just really excited about this one. I'm excited to bake or cook or prepare some of the recipes, and it'll be hard to narrow it down. The authors that are represented in here, let me just read you the list. There are, like I said, I think what did I say, 11 or 13. Avery Ames, who is also writes under the name Daryl Woods Gerber, Ellery Adams, Connie Archer, Leslie Budowitz, Laura Childs, Cleo Coyle, Victoria Hamilton, B.B. Haywood, Julie Heisey, Jen McKinley, and Paige Shelton. So I think this is going to be a really fun book to use, and I'm glad that I finally cracked it open and looked inside. And then another cozy mystery book I have by a different author who is not represented in that book because she has more than enough recipes of her own to fill an entire cookbook, and that is Joanne Fluke's Lake Eden Cookbook. This was published after there were 14 Hannah Swenson mysteries. Now there are over 20, almost 30, I think now. And so she could probably put together another cookbook with the recipes from books 15 to whatever we are, wherever we are now. And I hope that she will. I have baked a few things out of this book. The mystery cookies are especially fun. And I think that for the very first March Mystery Madness, I'll see if I can find that video and link it down below. I am pretty sure that I did a video where I showed the preparing of these cookies, the mystery cookies, and I kept it secret. I didn't say what the mystery ingredient is. It is a really fun recipe with an ingredient that you would never in a million years think that would go in a cookie. And I have made those cookies and taken them to parties and events. No one can ever guess unless they actually know and have read and have heard the recipe. It's not something you would ever just guess. So anyway, check out that video if you're curious. I'm not going to say it here, but it's probably on the internet somewhere where you can find what the secret ingredient is. And I'm not even sure which of the books it's in. It might be in the very first book, but I don't think it is. I think it's a little farther into the series. Anyway, I didn't even realize, I've had this book for years and never realized until couple of years ago that there are little stories and vignettes in this book, and I don't know if they are excerpts from the actual Hannah Swenson books or if they are new little stories just written to go with these recipes. I'm not that, I don't know. I'm not certain. But anyway, I am excited to have this. Here is Miss Joanne Fluke on the back, and it's a fun book to have. So I will definitely make or bake some more things out of it, and at some point do a review of that book. Then let's see, what do we want to do next? Hold on one second. So before I get off the topic of cozy mysteries, I do want to give an honorable mention to Cleo Coyle. Now, she is represented in, I shouldn't say she, because it is a husband and wife writing team, so they are represented in this cozy cookbook. But in all of the Coffee House Mysteries, there are recipes, and in this particular one, even though I went ahead and after I got caught up with the series, I sold some of my books at the used bookstore, passed on some of them to other people, I decided to keep this one. This is Holiday Grind. It is book 8 in the series, but it has 70 pages of recipes, and they are all Christmassy themed recipes, and it was too great to not keep. So I did keep this one. It's like a cookbook in and of itself, and I was really excited to have this. I bought this new at a book warehouse type store. Well, I think it was called the Book Warehouse, and it's moved. It's gone now. I think it's a chain store that is in several states. We used to have one in Florida. It changed locations, and then it was I found it again in the attractions area, and I was so excited, and I tried to frequent there as much as possible, and then it disappeared again. So sadly, it didn't stay open. But anyway, I was excited to find this book brand new at that store, and it's always nice to have new books when you're cooking with them. I do have a couple of books checked out from the library, and so, you never know where those have been or what kind of food they've been exposed to. And I do want to find my own copies of the library books that I'm going to show you today. And also there is a Cat Who cookbook. I would love to own that. I have never seen it. I just saw it. I was scrolling through Goodreads earlier today and just trying to see what other literary cookbooks were out there. And I didn't even realize that Lillian Jackson Braun, or maybe someone else, published it, and it was inspired by the Cat Who series. I'm not really sure. But anyway, the Cat Who books didn't have recipes, but at least there is a Cat Who cookbook. So that's kind of cool. All right, so moving on. Now, one of the books that sort of inspired me to do this video is the Year in Medford read-along that's happening right now. Kate Howe and Rainey from Rainy Day Reads and Angie from Literary Labors. And I am so sorry. I can never remember the other girl's name. I finally started following her on Instagram, and my apologies. I need to go subscribe to her YouTube channel. If you are watching this and if you don't see me show up in your subscription feed, you yell at me. Anyway, they are doing this whole Year in Medford read-along, and it was originally inspired by this Jan Karen cookbook and kitchen reader. I've owned this for several years. I have prepared recipes from it. The one that I make every year for the last several years is the Father Tim's Christmas Breakfast Casserole. It is a make-ahead recipe that you make the night before on Christmas Eve or whenever you make it. Put it in the refrigerator to let all the flavors meld together, and then you wake up on Christmas morning, set it out for a half an hour to let it get, you know, a little more back to room temperature, and then you bake it, and it is wonderful. So I have made that. Katie has also made the, there's a cinnamon roll recipe in here, and a yeast dough recipe, and she has tried that, and I want to say we tried something else too, but I'm not even sure. Anyway, I want you to be sure and check out Kate Howe's end of the month videos each month. There's a couple I've missed that I need to go back and watch, but what they were doing each month is baking or cooking something from each of the books that are in the series. Now, every single book in the series is not represented here. This goes up through, I'm trying to think what book it goes up through. The one right before Home to Holly Springs, I believe. So every single book is not represented here. The last book is Light from Heaven. Yeah. So anyway, it has a lot of wonderful recipes, and there are some little clips and excerpts and vignettes about the characters and about Medford. And it is a book that I am currently reading. I have not been actively reading it lately. I did start it back in January with the intent to read along as they went through each book each month, and I fell behind, and I need to catch up. So anyway, it'll be a little while before I'm ready to review this one for you, but maybe by Christmas time I will have it done. And I think I even already did a video and showed you the Christmas breakfast casserole. I showed a little clip of that one year, so I'll see if I can find that as well and link it. But I'll make something new at some point whenever I finish reading this book. And then one of the books that I have that I just found at a book sale not too long ago is Debbie Maycomber's Cedar Cove Cookbook. I have read the entire Cedar Cove series several years ago, really enjoyed it, and this is a beautiful book. Now, Debbie has a couple of other cookbooks that they don't appear to be based on any particular book or book series, but this particular one does have mentions of Cedar Cove characters. There's also a map of Cedar Cove in the end papers, and I did not realize until last night when I was looking at this book. Look at this. This is signed. It's signed to someone named Susie, but hey, it's still officially signed by Debbie Maycomber. It says, "I heard you're a wonderful cook from Vicky. Enjoy, Debbie Maycomber." And she signed under her name. She put 2 Timothy 1 verse 2. So I need to look that up and see what scripture that is. But I thought, wow. I mean, and this is not like hand stamped or anything. This is hand signed personally, which means that Debbie Maycomber has had this actual book in her hand, which is pretty cool. I'm not usually one to really care that much about author signatures, but still, it's pretty cool, especially since she is my most read author and one of my favorites. So I think that's awesome. Anyway, this book has amazing photography, and the recipes sound really good. So I am really looking forward to digging into this one. And then that is all of the actual cookbooks, literary cookbooks that I own. But I've got one checked out from the library here that I want to own. I have sort of been looking for this every time I go to book sales, every time I'm at a used bookstore. I don't always remember to look in the cookbooks, but still, I've had my eyes out for this for a few years, and I would love to find my own copy. This is Fanny Flag's original Whistle Stop Cafe cookbook, featuring fried green tomatoes. And this book is not colorful, but it is full of photographs. And I went through this page by page last night, and this is full of wonderful Southern recipes. I'm trying to find some of the pictures. There are plenty of pictures in here. There's a good one. I would love to just cook my way through this book. And I did make something from this book last night, so this will probably be the first one that I showcase. I am going to read a little bit more. It's got a few little stories at each chapter heading, so I don't think it will take me long to read, and then I'll skim through the recipes. And I probably will go ahead and make one or two more recipes, put that together. I did shoot some footage last night of what I made first, and so let me work on this one for a couple of days, and then this will probably be the next episode in my literary cookbook series. So anyway, this is great, and I would love to get my hands on a copy of that. The other one that I have checked out from the library that I didn't even realize existed is the Little House Cookbook. Now, this one is pretty dog-eared. It has been around for a while, and I definitely want to find my own copy of this. I haven't even looked to see if this one is still in print, but this is one that I would probably try to search out online and see if it is still in print. I'd like to find a new copy of this one. But this has Garth Williams illustrations. It has little stories and excerpts, and the recipes look fun, and it is geared towards, I believe, towards children, so that, you know, if you had your child with you, then you could work together to prepare some of these recipes. So I'm excited about finding this. I was excited that our library had it, and I definitely will take a closer look at it and bring you a video showing at least a couple of recipes from the Little House Cookbook. Now, I might not do that until maybe next February during the Little House Readathon. That would be kind of a fun video to do during the Little House Readathon. So you might not see this one right away, but anyway, it'll be coming. And then I was just thinking about a few others. I mentioned Anne of Green Gables earlier, and I do have a couple of books. I don't have the actual Anne of Green Gables cookbook, but I do have a couple of Anne of Green Gables books that have a few recipes in them, and these are also very nice. The Anne of Green Gables Treasury and the Anne of Green Gables Christmas Treasury. These are by Carolyn Strom Collins and Christina Weiss Erickson. They also have written a treasury, I think, of Little Women and Little House. And so these are just beautiful books with just different projects. There's some recipes. There's also craft projects and just different ideas for some neat things that you could do that are inspired by the Anne of Green Gables series. Now, I wanted to mention just one other kind of an offshoot of this topic. I did mention the Fanny Flag cookbook. Now, of course, you know that this is not only a book, it's a movie. And there are quite a few cookbooks that are based on movies and TV shows as well. I own one of them, and I don't know, when I get done doing all the literary cookbooks I want to do, I might show you this one too. But I have this, Cooking with Friends. I have had this for years, ever since probably ever since it came out. I want to say it was a gift from a friend, and I always was a Friends fan from you know, back in the day when we used to have to wait and watch it once a week. And so this looks fun as well. And there are some fun pictures in here, and recipes and everything. So I think this will be a fun book to take a closer look at as well. And there are plenty of other TV series that have inspired cookbooks. I used to have a copy of the Mayberry Cookbook, that, of course, you know, Andy Griffith, of Andy Griffith fame. And I think I've had 2 copies in my life. I gave one to my sister as a gift, and then I ran across another at a book sale, and we ended up selling it on eBay. So if I ever get another copy of it, I might actually keep it this time. But anyway, I'm sure there are others. I think there's a Gilmore Girls cookbook, and who knows what else. If you know of any other literary cookbooks or cookbooks based on TV shows or movies that that you have or that you are interested in, let's just chat about them in the comments. Of the ones I showed today, which is more interesting to you? I'm not sure what order I will do these in. It will just be an ongoing series, and I know there are plenty more out there that I don't have, but when I get done with these, maybe by that time I will have accumulated more, or I will find more that I want to review. So it's going to be a fun ongoing project that I am excited to bring to you, and I hope that you are excited to partake. And I probably won't show you the actual recipes simply because copyright issues and everything, but I will certainly show you the books where you can get them, and then, you know, you can check out your own library or bookstore or online or whatever to find the books for yourself. So that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this is going to be a fun endeavor for you and me both, and I hope you're reading a good book. Have a great day, and God bless you.